Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been 4 days since my last confession. This is a bad one. I killed someone today. It's Elizabeth's own fault, really. If she hadn't started seeing Quentin, I'd never have had to do it, would I? Every day they've been spending more time together. It was sick. I could see how bad he was for her, but Elizabeth was clueless. She can't read people like I can. That's why I was so good for her. It's been torment. I love her, but she's a heartless bitch for doing this to me. Forcing me to sit in my field and watch them growing more and more intimate. I saw their first kiss, the first time he held her in his arms, and today, I can't always lip read, but I've got powerful binoculars, and this was unmistakable. Today he said, "I love you." I wanted to puke. But what really made me sick was what happened next. Elizabeth's a slut, but so far she's been taking it pretty slow. Not slow enough for my liking, but by her standards this is glacial. I don't know if it's because of her broken arm, or because he's physically repulsive. Whatever. All I know is they've been going out for 2 weeks, and she hasn't let him screw her yet. That's got to be a record. But today, when he said, "I love you," something changed in her eyes. I knew exactly what it was, because the same thing had happened with us. We were going through a car wash at the time, and I'd been telling her how I once spent 20 minutes following signs to a topless car wash, and it turned out to be a fat bloke with a sponge. She laughed, and I told her how beautiful she looked when she laughs, and I suppose something in the way I said it really touched her, because that was when something changed in her eyes, just like was happening now with Quentin. She leaned across the gear stick and kissed me, and then she climbed into my lap and put her arms around me and smiled a very meaningful smile. 20 seconds later we were fucking. Only then the bushes stopped turning and the red light came on and we had to drive forward, so our first love-making session ended prematurely. But as soon as we got back to the house, we picked up where we'd left off. It was the best night of my life. That's one of my most cherished memories. But as I watched it happening again, with Quentin playing my part, it was like that memory had come back to break my world, like being bitten by a favourite dog. It was a perfect reprisal. She gave him that look, then leaned in slowly, and they kissed. Then she put a good arm around him. I got both arms, that was the only difference, so I'm one up there at least. And then they stood up together, and she smiled. It's a smile she can do that I've never seen on anyone else. Dirty, eager, playful, challenging, excited, so many emotions, all in one smile. And he smiled back, a big fat stupid grin, and then she led him away from the sofa, and up the stairs, and he followed like he couldn't believe his luck, his big fat stupid grin on his face, and his tiny hard cock in his pants. Well, I knew what was happening, and I was sorry, Father, I was damned if I was just going to sit in my field while she was being molested by that slimy bastard. I had to do something. Watch, at least. I trained my binoculars on the bedroom window, but then Elizabeth appeared and pulled the curtain. I had no choice. I had to go in. I did my credit card trick on the lock and went into the hall. I've been in the house countless times since we split up, but never when Elizabeth was present, so I was nervous. But it had to be done. I had to see this. I went up the stairs so slowly. I could hear they were at it already. Clearly Quentin doesn't believe in foreplay. I thought she'd have got her creaky bed fixed by now. She was giving a little sigh with every thrust, and he was grunting like a fat, smelly pig, so it was squeak, ah, ooh, squeak, ah, ooh. I'm on the landing now, and on the little side table there's the pewter statue of Elvis, and I think that could smash someone's head in so easily. So I pick up the statue and step quickly into the bedroom. I don't know if I'll be seen, so I'm ready for anything. But Elizabeth is flat on her back, with her eyes closed, and Quentin's straddled over her with his back to me. I'm faced with a hideous vision of his hairy arse ramming back and forth, but at least they don't know I'm here. I take a step closer. I'm right behind them now. I'd feel the gust if Quentin farted. Sorry, Father broke wind. I look at the back of his stupid head, and I raise Elvis. And then her phone rings. What's going to happen now? Anyone else would ignore it, but Elizabeth can't stand to miss a call. Would she make an exception? I lower Elvis and step towards the door. Her phone's downstairs. If she goes for it, I'll have to get out fast. Quentin's all, leave it, but Elizabeth's all, it might be important. I want to second Quentin's vote to break the deadlock, but I knew she'd take the call. I legged it down the stairs as fast as I could without making a sound, but that wasn't fast enough, and I didn't think I was going to get out without being seen. So I threw myself through the nearest door. I figured I could wait it out in the study until it was over. Elizabeth keeps her cockatiel in the study. It looked at me with its stupid, beady eyes, and I knew exactly what it was thinking. It was thinking, if I make enough noise, maybe he'll feed me. It didn't feel any pain, Father. You can break a bird's neck so quickly. Is it a sin to kill a bird? You can see how I had no choice. But, wow, God wasn't half quick to punish me. I stood there with this dead bird limp in my hands and listened to Elizabeth's phone call outside. She was on the line for maybe 2 minutes. She didn't say much, but I could tell something was wrong. After she hung up, I realised Quentin must have followed her downstairs, because I heard him say, "Who was that?" She was all, "Julie from Hedgehog Rescue. That's one of her charities. My mum runs the local branch. She introduced us not long after Elizabeth started volunteering. She was always so optimistic about our relationship, my mum. She said, Elizabeth's so good for you. When you're with her, you're more normal." It broke her heart when Elizabeth dumped me, but I don't suppose the bitch cared. There was a tremble in her voice as she spoke, so Quentin was all, "What's up?" And Elizabeth was all, "It's Carolyn. She's been rushed to hospital. I don't know what's happened, but it sounded pretty bad. Julie was talking like she might not have long left." David Grange. My mum.